Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Unplugged with the Jas Oberoi Group. Today we have the Jas Oberoi here, and today's podcast is going to be very special because we're going to be talking about you and we're going to talk
Yes.
about your journey. And a lot of you might have actually heard his stories, but I also know there's a lot of you that are new to our channel. For those of you, that have been following us, thank you so much. And I don't know, I'm sure you know this, you do check our social media as well, but our profile views, our account views have been over 2 million,
Yes.
right? So we have a lot of people that don't know about you, and maybe they see this image of you that is just present right now, but they don't know the struggles, everything that you've gone through to be at that stage. So today I really want to highlight that. I want to talk to you about the struggles that you've gone through, about the failures, obviously your success.
Yes.
Everyone knows about, but I also want to touch base on, as an entrepreneur, you've also gone through struggles,
Yes.
right? And also talk about those struggles and your failures,
Yeah.
right? And what essentially, how you came to be, Jas Oberoi right now, right? Because maybe old Jas Oberoi is not the same as the new Jas Oberoi that we see today. So I really do want to talk about all of this. But I want you to start from tell me first day you moved to, go back. I want you to actually imagine this. You going back, right? You just moved from
India.
India. Where are you from India?
Jalandhar. Punjab.
Jalandhar. Okay. So
North India.
Yeah. So taking your flight, first thing, all these high hopes, dreams that you have. I'm going to move to Canada. My life's going to change. Because you were struggling a lot
Yes.
in India.
This is a funny thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, and it's
Yeah.
a reality. Okay.
Yeah.
I was always dreaming about going to any country. Matter of fact, not
Yeah.
in particular Canada. I just wanted to go out, and I felt like if I go abroad, I will have a better opportunities. I struggled a lot. There was a lot of challenges coming in, getting refusals. I got a refusal from England. I didn't get the visa there. I tried Australia. Later on, I got a permanent residency, but at that point, I was not having. Long story short, when finally I got a visa of Canada, so happy. I remember when I disclosed it to my mom that I got the visa. Me and her over the phone, I told her I got it, and she and me didn't talk for next 1 or 2 minutes, just crying, just crying. And here it is. I take a flight, and I was getting an anxiety all of a sudden because the flight is so long. And I was getting anxiety that I'm going abroad. There's nobody in there. How difficult it is going to be.
Yeah.
I was actually feeling I wanted it. I was wishing that time. Hope they deport me back so that I can go back to my family and stay there, work there only. It's going to be very difficult for me to survive my own. I may not able to survive. And if I go like this on my own, they will feel like I quit. I couldn't do it. So I was praying to God that when I land, the immigration people at the airport just deport me back for whatever reason. So these kind of things were also going through my head. And when I reached here, it was completely opposite to what I thought Canada is, like how we see it in the movies and everything. The reality was completely different. It's very easy to say when back in India, I thought any job I get it, I will do it. Okay, I just wanted to go out, Canada. When I got my job as a dishwasher, that was my first job. I started at the Pink Hotel. Now it's closed. It's near the border. And when he gave me the apron to wear it, and he said, start doing it. It was a banquet hall. And I was washing the dishes. The tears started coming out of my eyes. Because it was the real shit hit there. Like, oh, I'm doing it. It's not that easy. Easy to say, easy to think about it. I will do it. I will overcome it. That was very difficult for me. The first 2 months was very difficult for me. I never been away from my mom, and I was very close to my mom. I was mama's boy. So every day talking to her. In the evenings when I take my shift off, it was difficult. I didn't know where to go. I remember my shifts used to be off at 6 o'clock. The bus was right there. There's a bus stop in front of the hotel. 5:55 the bus comes. So I didn't have the guts to say to my boss, can I go 5 minutes early so that I can catch the bus? I used to be there at the bus stop for 1 hour because it was every hour. So 7 o'clock, then goes to Surrey Central. From Surrey Central, I take another bus and reach my house. It took me around 2 hours to changing the buses in them. By the time I reach home, it was 9:30, and feeling quite alone. I wanted to come back. I cried a lot. Too much.
And
every
Aarti
day.
wasn't here
Aarti
either.
was not there. Nobody was there. I was
Yeah.
no having a family, nobody. Uh, and I was just by myself with my friend I was staying at. He was very helpful. He helped me financially too, emotionally too. He was very supportive. And he took me to his basement. We were living there. So my mom told me one day, you know what, just leave it, come back. I've shared this before too. My sister at that time, she was in England on a student visa. She was studying there, doing her MBA. She calls me from there. She said, Mom told me that you're going to come back. You're going back to India? I said, yes. I'm happy. I'm going to go back. I will do this. I will do this. I just basically bullshitting around, lying to myself, living in that delusion that, okay, I'm going to do wonders when I go back. And she told me that half an hour conversation with her changed my whole thing. Whatever I have been today, like how that conversation, sometimes small conversation makes a huge difference in your life. She said to me, so basically you're going to quit. Don't worry. I'm already in England, being there for the last 2 years, studying and sending money to India. I will be still there. So you can go home, chill, relax. I'm there to take care of the finances. I said, what do you mean you're going to take care of the finances? I will go back and I will work. She said, no, you can't. You're lying to yourself that you're just hiding, you're just trying to emotionally blackmail your mom also. I cannot be, I'm not an idiot. You can't work hard. That's what it is. And she said that I wish I could say that to people that my brother is not a quitter, but unfortunately you are. That hit me so bad. I said, no. I called mom. I said, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Never looked back after that. I said, no. This is the only opportunity I was always dreaming about.
Was it like that, I guess, that conversation that changed your mindset?
Mindset was there. It was just a wake-up call for me. I was always having the hunger to be successful, always wanted to do work more hard. But when the difficult time came, it was difficult for me back in India also, because when my dad passed away, I was having in a very financial bad situation. We were coming up from a very wealthy, my dad was an industrialist. We were having a very decent lifestyle. Lavish, I would say lavish, but probably, I don't know what the definition of lavish would be, because this extremes can be, but it was a very good
like
life.
Upper middle class.
Yes, you can say it. Servants, cars, drivers, everything.
Yeah.
So was a spoiled brat. And my dad passed away, life flipped all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Been through a lot of challenges. My dad passed in 99. I came in Canada 2008. So it was 9 years of a hard work being in India, working for $50 a month. So it was not easy in India too. But when I came to Canada, I was not prepared to be different culture. Just by myself, away from my mom. My mom was very much my emotional bond for me.
She was your rock.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
And I couldn't live with it. And then when my sister told me, it was a wake-up call, because I always used to tell my sister that I don't want you to send us the money. The day I go, whenever I get the opportunity to go abroad, the first thing I want to do, stop sending us the money. I don't want you to support us financially, because you are studying, you're paying your fees. On top, you're going to help us. No, I don't want to take that help.
Yeah.
And then when that conversation happened, she said, what about all those things? I said, I will do it. I will run a business. I spoke to my friend. I'll make this much. You're
just like in La La Land being like, I'm going to go back, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, right? But I think like for you, and I think a lot of students would probably relate to this as well. When, like I'm from Pakistan. In Pakistan too, like when I go there, like they have this image of Canada, like it's heaven.
Yes.
Right? Like when you go to Canada, there's so much money here. Like, life is good, everything is green, but there's also snow, there's this. Like they just think like Canada is actually like heaven. Like it's such a nice place. But when you move here, reality hits. Like, sure, Canada's beautiful, right? But at the same time, I would say like people who live in India, Pakistan, their lifestyle is so much better than the lifestyle here. Because when I go back there, they have, like you said, they have, house help. They have people who are like cooking for them. There are people who are cleaning for them. Drivers are driving them around. Like my cousins, they all live that life, right? So when you go there, that's the life they have. But then they think they can come to Canada. It's going to be that, but even better. Right? And then when you move here, exactly. When you move here, then you're like, oh, wait a second. Canada's not heaven. You actually have to work probably twice as hard to even make a living wage. Right?
And Maria, for me, it was different actually, because I was not living that life. I used to live back in India when I was quite young, 19 years old. I was having that lifestyle, but after that, it was not. For next 8-9 years was very struggling for us.
But you probably thought like, okay, I agree.
But still it was my comfort zone, because it was my hometown,
Yeah.
my friends, my circle, everything.
Yeah.
It was more than missing. I was feeling like I was in a circle where I was tied, and I was surrounded by the people who I know. Here I was out of my comfort. New world, new people around, how they were treating you also coming as an immigrant is not easy, just by myself especially.
Yeah.
Having a limited language, also there was a language barrier too. I tried to improve myself. Okay, I wanted to be, always one thing was in my head that I wanted to be like how Canadians are.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to be adapting
And I
to
would
it.
say probably for you compared to other immigrants, it was even harder because when you came here, right, you didn't have like, for example, you had to be a busser, right?
Yes.
That's what you had to do. You didn't have like, for example, you didn't have a degree that you could go do an office job or you could
No.
do any of that. So for you, you really had to like,
Yeah. I had a very limited resources
yeah.
in terms of skills wise also.
Yeah.
I had no skills, nothing.
No.
I don't have, like, I'm not a handyman. I'm not anything I'm good at it.
Yeah.
It was very limited resources. I have it with myself, within myself. And I thought, okay, whatever I have it, I'm going to do best out of it.
Yes.
One thing I knew it that I'm going to put my head down. This is the opportunity. I was just lost in a way. That conversation was a wake up call for me. For the first 2 months, I was lost. I was lost with the motive. Why did I come here?
Yeah. I think you were just missing home, that you missed out the point like, hey, this is the reason is because I'm trying to build a life here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not going to be, no one said it, I mean, maybe you thought it would be easy, but no one said it's going to be easy.
No, it wasn't easy. But when you were doing it, you felt like, oh,
Why am I
shit
doing
hit,
this? Yeah.
done.
Shit hit the fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh well, this is real. I'm washing dishes.
Yeah.
This is real. I'm doing it,
Yeah.
and nothing wrong in it.
No.
And then one thing I learned it in Canada too is every person has a respect.
Yeah.
You have to give a respect no matter what kind of a job they're doing it. And I only learned it that hard way is because I did that back in India. Even though I was not in financially that kind of being in the comfort, but still I had that perception of it. The person who's being a server or a busser, you can say anything to them is fine. They don't have any emotions or feelings. But when I was in their shoes, I felt it like we have the same emotions, we have the same things. And that I have learned it in Canada is only like there is no differentiate between. One thing I loved it in Canada was that when I was a server, my boss and me can afford to go into a same restaurant on the weekend and can have a same sort of food.
Yeah.
Whereas in India, there are a lot of people who only have a dream one day they can go into a 5-star or fancy fine dining restaurant because they cannot afford it. So that was also a huge difference between our culture back in India and here. Canada has amazing country for me, being especially for me, I feel like being blessed that this was the country I chose and never look back.
I think other thing about Canada too is like if you want something, let's say you want, you want to buy something for yourself. Maybe you want to buy like a bag, like a cup, whatever you want to buy. You can always get a second job. You can always just do extra hours, whatever it is. You can always buy that thing that you want, right?
I'm glad you said it because this was actually one my boss told me when I was working. He said this country, Jas, he gave me my name also, Jas. I was using my full name, Jaspreet. And he said, your name is Jas from now. I said, okay, I like it. It's for me. I said, okay, nice shot. Okay. So anyways, he told me, Jas, this country, you can, if you dream of something, you can buy it. I said, how? Give me an example. Like, he said, what do you want to buy right now? I said, I wanted to buy a laptop. Okay. Work extra 2 days. Work for those. In a month, you will save the money for a laptop. And I did. And then I realized, okay, it is in my hands. Unlike, again, I'm comparing it back India because that was a different culture. No matter how hard I work, I would have never able to purchase the laptop of worth $2,000 back in India as a server.
Yeah.
Being a server, no matter what happens. Like if I do a conversion like 100,000 rupees, no, you can't do it as a server. No, you cannot.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And, and I'm sure like a lot of us know that your journey, like, you went from being a server, working your ass off to becoming, a manager at a restaurant. And then eventually, moving forward, did you become financially well when you became a manager at a restaurant or when you opened your own restaurant?
No, actually, I've become financially very well since the day I landed into, not since the day, but I would say very early in my stage of my being in Canada. Even though I was on a worker visa, yes, I was working as a server, but I was making decent money. $500-600 a month, and
at that time.
no expenses.
Yeah.
Living in a basement, sharing it. $300 was my expense. $100 was Roger's phone number, and 2 pants, 2 black shirts purchased from thrift store, and a black shoes. That's it.
Yeah.
No expense. All money I was saving into sending into India, just for my mom. I wanted my mom to live like a queen. I told her, don't even think about anything before you buying it. Just buy. I'm going to keep sending money.
Yeah.
And I was doing it because I wanted her, because she had a very difficult time after my dad passed away. And not one side like emotionally, but raising us also. She was also not very well educated, but she was a very strong woman. And she was always being making sure me and my sister being sorted and not get distracted with other things or get demoralized, demotivated, whatever it is. And I always had that dream that, okay, that was my motivation and drive for me. I'm going to keep doing it. Like the other day, we were talking about when I started drinking also, or even going to downtown. These are small things, but it makes a huge difference. I came in Canada 2008. I went to downtown for the first time in 2011. It took me 3 years. I used to work at Scott Road, Desi Junction, which is Happy Eats now. Restaurant I used to work. Used to take a bus. Like it was 10 minutes only away from their basement. 3 years, same routine. No going anywhere. Not that I couldn't afford it because I said it as I was making very decent amount of money because there was tips also and $5,000-6,000. I didn't want it to because I didn't want it. I had always had that determination. This is my focus. I came here to Canada with a purpose. That purpose has to be fulfilled. What it is, little bit of money in your bank, getting a permanent residency, being established, stand on your feet. That's what I wanted to. When I become that, then I said, okay, now I'm going to live it. And now in today's date, I know people young, especially young people who seeing it, they always say, oh, you have to live your life also. And this is the time you live, which is your early 20s. It's a bullshit. In my early 20s was the hardest time of my life been. Now I'm in my 40s. I'm living my life. If I wanted to do a yacht party, I can do it easily. I have done it. If I want to go travel around any part of the world, I can do it. You want to do a grand lavish party, you can do it. Like whatever you can think of. Wanted to buy a sports car, you can buy it. Focus in your early age on your career rather than focusing on enjoying and partying. Partying can be done. It's all bullshit when they say early days are the days. When you get old, there's no point of enjoying or no point of having a money.
I think people are on two different extremes. Right? Like, for example, you had this struggle. Like, I didn't have obviously I've had struggles in my life too, but I didn't have the struggle that you had where you literally had like no money. You had to send money back. Like, it was hard, right? I think a lot of people, what they think is like, and I see this every weekend, whatever money they make Monday to Friday, they just spend it. Any new designer bag they want, anything new they want, they just want to spend. Like a lot of it's, and they watch people on Instagram. Oh, this person has they're watching these reels and they're getting impressed by them, and they're just spending all the money that they have on these things to impress people.
Yes.
Right? Or like some people like that I know, like they go into credit card debt to support their lifestyle that they want to show to other people, but in reality they have no money. Right? Don't go to that extreme. Like again, I'm not saying like go ahead like live your life. Like you said, I also believe that like work hard right now. In your 20s is the time that you actually get to learn, right? Maybe in your 30s is when you start making money.
Yeah.
In your 20s, like, struggle, work hard, do that. Again, it doesn't mean like, you can't travel. You can travel, but you don't need to travel so lavishly. It doesn't mean you need to travel every single month. You can travel, once a year, twice a year. You can do that stuff.
I went to Whistler for the first time in 2012. Already got my permanent residency. Wow. Okay, 2010 I got my permanent residency. I visited Whistler with my sister. She visited me from India when she got married. She came. Now she lives here. But at that time she came here on a visitor visa to visit me, and that was the first time I went to Whistler. I was just, not that I couldn't afford it in past 4 years where I was from 2008 to 2012. I was just focused on work, continuing working it, and I felt like, okay, this is what I was at. I used to always tell myself, हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना जो अपना टाइम आएगा, बस वही बोलता था, बस अपना टाइम आएगा, my turn will come, one day it will come, I will enjoy my life to the fullest.
Let's talk about the mindset a little bit, right? Because there's a lot of times where the times come, times get hard, right? And humans, there's that doubt in your mind, like what if? What if this doesn't work? What if we always have this joke that I say I'm delulu, like I'm delusional, and I always feel like everything works out, and I feel like everything is going to work out for my best. I have this thing where I'm just like, oh, everything's gonna be okay. I'm in la la land, everything will work out, right? I've always thought that. But even then, there are days that come. What if, right? What if for example, what if the market doesn't pick up? What if this happens? What if that happens? There's so many what ifs that come. How do you keep, I guess, that mindset of yours clean and also still motivated?
I'm focused on it, Maria, and even to go further, I will come back to it. I also get a lot of self-doubts on myself, on my ability, and I feel like, will I able to do it? It's a human nature. A friend of mine reminded me that, come on, you are a Jas motherfucking Oberoi, okay? You don't have to think like that.
Yeah.
We had these conversations. I
course.
had a self-doubts and you were telling me, giving me a, by the way, if you don't know, Maria is the one who gave me this name, Jas motherfucking Oberoi. She pumped me. I said, Jas,
Yeah,
you
one
can't
day
think
Jas
like
was
it.
feeling very low.
Yeah.
And he was doubting some stuff. And I was like, come on, you're doubting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are doubting yourself, your skills, your ability.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying it that happens.
Yes.
But overall, I feel like discipline in life is the most important thing. And that clears a lot of your doubts in terms of I'm getting up. I can't emphasize more on how my life has changed from past 5 years. It was completely 360. My vision, my way of thinking, everything has changed by being focused on things and not being like having a discipline, having a routine. I keep saying it like I wake up every morning at 5 o'clock. Not saying that that is only the reason, but it is very important to be focused on it. I feel like the best ideas have come to my mind is when I was early morning when there was nobody else there, no phone ringing, no distractions. I'm focused. Going to gym, coming back. One thing is definitely you wanted to be leaner, you wanted to be fit. On top of it, my brain is also fresh because the amount of pressure we have it on ourselves. If you don't do a workout, you can't sustain it. Your body will give up one day, and
Yeah.
those things have changed. Consistency.
And those like small, like every single
Yeah.
day, they all add up. Because if one day you're like, oh, I'm getting lazy, 2 days, 3 days, right? Then you're basically lazy for the whole year, right? But
It happens.
if you're like, and it's okay once in a while
Yeah,
you have
once in a while
laziness,
is-
but if you have the discipline of every single day, those days maybe you don't see it in like in the 1 week, 2 weeks, but if you look at it in the long term,
It does.
those good days they add up, right? For example, like let's say you're eating well,
Yes.
okay, if you're eating well. If you eat well only one day, you're not going to lose weight. If you eat well, like, multiple days, right? Or like for a few months, then you start noticing the change. Same thing with like routine too. If your routine is, I'm going to work out, I'm going to go to the office. It's so easy, especially in our career, not to go to the office.
Yes.
Right? Like it's so easy for us to just be like, you know what, I'm just going to work from home, or I'm just like taking a day off. It's very easy to
Yeah.
do that, right? And I think having that thing when your mind, you're like, no, even though there's no boss, even though there's nobody telling you have to come, if you still do it, I think that has to come from within, especially in our career, right? And I'm sure
Yes.
there's other people that can relate to that too. Like,
You have to be accountable to yourself
Yes.
more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Saying it early morning wake ups. The days when I don't wake up at early morning, some days comes in very occasionally, and I get upset with not with anybody else, with myself because I have set up my standards very high and I wanted to be better than what I was yesterday. Every day I feel like, okay, how I can be better than that, and I feel like I let myself down. I couldn't get up early for whatever reason, but that was an excuse to me in my books, and it is difficult. I have to take sometimes a lot of toll on my body too. I have to be keep doing it. But that's how I've been. Like you talking about the mindset, it's not something you can change it. It's inbuilt probably. I feel like it is in the way or how you've been raised or how the difficult times you've been through. The time makes you that mindset.
Agreed.
I feel
I
like.
think time changes you, but also like for me, for example, like I read, right?
Yeah.
So for me, like I remember reading one book, and that book really changed my mindset. Like in my
Yes.
head, I was like, you know what? Like this is so true. Like that day, it was just like it was like a light bulb, right?
Yes.
Like went off. Like that's what I was wanting for you. Like was there a point? Like I know you said you've always felt that way, but was there a point in your life where you're like, okay, now? It's like basically, I don't know how to explain it. Like for me, it was like that day is when I just got all this courage to be like, I can do whatever I want to do.
I'll tell you what it is. Was it for me? Was it again? Is it like my motivation, my drive was I wanted my mom to live happy life. That was seriously was my motivation because how I said that I started drinking at a very later age of my life is because I didn't wanted my mom to be let down, and she had a lot of hopes on me and my families. After my dad passed away, none of them were having any hopes. It may sound weird, like my dad's death has changed my life. I would have, if he was alive, probably I would have been a completely different person, being a spoiled brat, no respect for anybody, probably a loser. I don't know what I would have been doing it because I was doing that when he was alive, and I was by the age 16 to 19, I was like best teenager life anybody could dream about.
But you were just not like a.
As a terms of like spending money, like there's no tomorrow. My dad spoiled me a lot. He said, do whatever you want to do, because he worked very hard in his life, and he said that I wanted you to live my life also with it. it was a love too, probably. But hindsight, I look like that was not the right way to raise
you.
some.
No.
And my mom was against it.
Like
and
you
when
wouldn't
my-
raise your son like that.
And when my dad passed away, it was an eye opener for me too, because people who were very nice to me were saying nasty things to me and my mom. And my mom was used to tell me, because they were telling me that to my mom, they told it, he's a loser. What are you expecting from him? He's not going to do anything. I couldn't talk, Maria. Can you imagine that today I can talk in front of 1,000 people? I didn't have the guts to talk if there was 4 people sitting in the room. I cannot talk. I was just shaking, shivering. I was always go back into the room, look at the mirror, cry, and then yell at myself and saying, this is what I'm telling him. You know, sometimes you are in anger. I wanted to say something to you, but I couldn't because I didn't have the guts to say. I will go into the washroom, lock myself, and pretend that I'm looking you in the mirror and saying, Maria, this is what I want to say to you. And I used to cry a lot that time, like, okay, this is what. But my mom made me like, okay, talk, speak. And she was just being my I can say like she was instrumental in my life. And she was my motivation because I've seen her been through a lot of hardship and struggle.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, no, I can't let her down. I'm the only hope for her.
I know.
And if I do something wrong,
no,
that's not going to happen.
Yeah. And also, like, you know, like I also think I'm like, I don't want to be in my, like, you know, 70s, 80s when I'm like, you know, old, right? And just look back and like regret, like, oh, I could have done this. I should have done more of this. I should have done more of that. I don't want those regrets too. So for me, like, I think for most of the time when I'm like looking, I do vision boards, and I've been doing vision boards for about 4 or 5 years now.
I've seen her vision boards.
Yeah. And for those of you watching, like my vision boards, I would say I probably get more than 90% of whatever's on my vision board. I do. Like I've been a big manifesting person for a long time. But no, I do vision boards, and I always like think of it like I don't want any regrets in life. And I always think, and this is, I'm not talking career wise or money wise, I mean like in every capacity, right? Whether that's spending time with my mom, because I'm very close to my mom, right? Whether that's like, you know, doing whatever it is that you want to do, right? Like genuinely living a very happy life every single day.
Yes.
Right? Like those type of things, like you don't want those regrets when you're in your 70s, 80s, and you're like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done it this way. Right? Just
no
like having
regrets
that.
in the life.
No,
like,
no regrets.
No regrets.
And you know, living your every single day, like giving your best.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Right? And also, like, I guess, I think we both do it. We listen to a lot of, and we watch a lot of motivational videos too, and we feel down.
Oh, I till date, sometimes I go to, in the gym, put my AirPods and just motivational video.
Yeah. So when you know, you've struggled a lot in your life and you've had failures too, right?
Yeah.
So you went from being a business owner.
Yes.
Right? So going from being you finally made it when you became a restaurant owner yourself, right? And then jumping into real estate with no sales background.
Yes.
Yeah. What were you thinking?
It was just, I was used to being at the risk of losing nothing. I started the restaurant also from nowhere. I put all my savings into it and purchased the restaurant for $70,000. Me, my partner, we were 3 partners, and all put 15, and then there was whatever the shortfall is, we took a loan from the bank. I put everything in there, and we didn't have the money for rent also to pay next month. That's a big risk. The biggest risk I could have taken. And restaurant was pretty much dead. Like it was a dead restaurant, pretty much closed down restaurant. I purchased it. I had a confidence in myself that I am being doing this for my past 10, 12, 15 years. If I fail in this, I'm anyways a failure. So I know I will make this up. And it happened because I put a lot of my hard work in there. I used to go out in the afternoon, handing over the menus on the street on 152nd and King George to the people who were passing by. There was a coupons, come into the evening and try the food. Back in the evening, go and cook the food for them. So those challenges were there, but we surpassed that point. So that was a point where I started thinking of, okay, if you're going to be taking a risk and you're putting your 110%, you will always succeed. There's no way you can't succeed. When your back is against the wall, people, I feel like I myself also now, I have failed on a couple of things because I already had a backup, something to fall on. When you don't have anything to fall on, chances are you're going to be succeeding in it because you can't give up. If I had give up at that time of running the restaurant, I would have been done. So there was no choice. That's what I did.
But didn't you, like, you know, a lot of people, they say like they want that too, but then they can say, oh, I have kids, you know, I have a family.
Maria, I had my both kids. When I become a realtor, I was making $10,000 a month, decent money. running a restaurant from scratch, making it to the point where I was profiting $10,000 a month. So it took me a lot of hard work, 2012 to 2016. All of a sudden, I changed reason because I thought my growth is not going to be more now. I'm saturated here. I'm not able to grow because to grow, I have to open up multiple restaurants. And for multiple restaurants, I'm the only one person who's working. I'm the only one who's a chef. So how I'm going to make this happen? It's not going to be happening. I have to try something which is solo. All the success or the failures is going to rely on me, not going to blame of anybody. Like restaurants, there used to be servers not coming, dishwashers not coming. Some days cooks were not showing up. And I always had some excuse, or this person didn't come up, that person didn't come, that's why my restaurant is not going up, or whatever reason. I said, I'm going to pick up something which is just me. Because I know I'm not going to stop. And my success should not be relied on somebody else. And then I chose real estate. Real estate was out of a fluke. It was not being meant like I wanted to. I was dreaming about this work. It happened. And when I took my real estate license too, nobody gave me a chance. No one. Not even my family. They were saying, you are an idiot. What are you doing? You're running a business. You are at the age of, what was it, 2016 was 36. So at the age of 36, having 2 kids, you have a liability and you wanted to just completely shut down the restaurant, give the keys to the partner saying, I'm on my own, going to doing real estate. Never done a sales in my life. Never ever done sales. But one thing I knew it, and I remember there was a gentleman who interviewed me, and he said that you are new in real estate. Why should I hire you in my team? I said, I don't know how to do real estate, but I know how to make money. And I will make you money, and I will make money myself too. So if you hired me,
Did he hire you?
He hired me. Yes.
But there was one guy we ran into at the...
JP was his name. He was a French guy, Jeff. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot of... I was not being tech savvy. Everything he taught me, text messages. I was old school guy, used to phone everybody, and he told me
We
no.
still use this thing like Dropbox,
Yes.
putting everything in
That
folders.
was everything was when
DocuSign.
DocuSign, Dropbox, how to be paperless agent. I never used papers. Never used papers. Hard copies. We don't have contracts, hard copies, nothing.
We don't.
But never been there. So 2016, he taught me a lot. Unfortunately, he had some family issues and he had to give up on his real estate career. He moved to Ireland. Great guy. And being like, after that, I become solo. Self-doubt. It came to my mind. Will I able to do business on my own? Because I was always under the wings of him. Even though he was not actively going out for business, I was the one actually getting the business. And he was, but still there. I was having that comfort.
Yeah.
I can pick up a phone and talk to him. Hey, Jeff, I need this, how to do it. He will be there. And then when he left, I had no choice to do it on my own or start with another team. And I remember that time my managing broker, Ishaq, I was talking to him. I said, what should I do? He said, Jas, you can do it on your own. You're good enough. I said, you think so? I can do it? Self-doubt again. He said, yeah, you will be able to do it. And I said, okay, let me give a try. And I did. Never looked back again. And then I feel like the confidence also comes from the success. Once you taste that success, you know you can do this. The moment I realized that I can do real estate, I just speed it up very fast. Like I was doing maybe small walk, brisk walk probably when I started. When I saw, okay, I can do this, it's
You
easy.
started running, sprinting.
Sprint.
Yeah.
I said, like, there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to just do a sprint.
Because you grew in your business the fastest, I would say, probably one of the fastest agents.
Yes, I've been blessed also. Also, Maria will take it as I will say that I was at the right time with the right people around there. My friends who become my friends because of real estate, I didn't know them before. But when I did this business with them, they become my friends also. And till date, they are my friends. They have supported me through thick and thin anytime. Mindset change also. I was doubting a lot of things within myself. And they changed my narrative of how to look up to the things. Till date, they boost me. If some things I'm not feeling low, I talk to them Friday evenings. It helps. It helps immensely.
I know.
When you're surrounded with the 4 successful people, you will be the 5th one.
Yes.
And I'm blessed that I don't have you see those reels also. If you can, you will be blessed that if you have one person you can talk to any time of the day, you can call and that person will be there to listen to your bullshit. Whether it's related to business or not, they will listen. I say that I'm blessed. I don't have one. I have 3 to 4 people like that. I can pick up a phone and talk to them and say whatever, and they will bluntly tell me, this is wrong, this is right.
Yeah.
You are doing wrong. So even social media,
Yes.
what I'm doing right, what I'm not doing right, they tell me. They call me. They will say and I always wanted to make sure that I am not for them is Jas Oberoi. That okay, they will pick up a phone and say, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?"
Yeah. I mean, your
Yeah,
friends,
put it down. That is fucking no, Jas. You can't do that. Okay, I'll do it. I'll put it down. Like sometimes you also tell me, no, Jas, we can't do this.
Yeah, I tell them like this is some boomer behavior.
Boomer behavior or some things which is not.
Oh
correct.
yeah, you should not be posting.
And she tells me and listen to her because I consider her as my very good friend also because not only as a business partner but yes.
Yeah.
So those things I feel like that is also been very big credit given to my friends who are there in my life.
I think having a support system is so important, right? Having people who even when you doubt yourself, them just telling you you're gonna be okay. I think that means much more than anything else. Them just telling you like, hey, you know what? It will work out. Don't stress about it.
पता क्या होता है लाइफ में ना वो लोग होने चाहिए और every person, if somebody says I never self doubt myself is lying. Every person self doubt themselves at one point of time or the other. They will do it. You are very lucky if you have those people who clear your self doubts. There are people who will pull you down too.
Yes.
You have to stay away from them and make sure you're asking right people, your family, your very close friends, how I'm feeling like. And when they say, when you were talking to me about how I bring this mindset and the confidence, when they put in my head that I am Jas motherfucking Oberoi, I say, yeah, I am. I made it by own.
Yeah.
Why am I having a fear of not able to do it again?
Yeah,
I'll do it.
For me, the one quote you always said was, I started from nothing. So worst case scenario, I'll go back to nothing.
Nothing, yes.
Right? So I think having that like in your mind is like, you know, what's the worst that's gonna happen?
But yeah, I talk to myself so much. Like I tell myself to one another quote, I love it, is saying it. I didn't come this far just to come this far.
Yes.
I wanted to go more. Sometimes I feel like, what is it worth it? I'm now in my mid 40s, 44-year-old now. How long I can continue like this? My kids are growing up. What else I wanted it? I have more than what I dream about. But then I tell myself, no, this is not high. One day, like let's say Sunday, I'm thinking like that. I'm going to take it easy. Monday I go back. No.
He comes to the office and he's like, oh, Maria, I'm going to retire. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that.
No.
He's been trying to retire for the past. Ask his wife. He's been trying to retire.
Probably I wanted to retire the day I born.
Yeah, literally. You've been trying to retire since that day. But also, like on another note too, like, you know, a lot of people may be watching you. They might be at the start of their journey, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe they're starting at the stage that you are, where they're a server right now, or they're watching this, right? And like obviously giving them hope and inspiration that, you know, it's also possible for them. If for somebody like you, it's possible. Like, you know, of course you're my friend, but you're nothing special. Okay?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I tell them I'm a very common person. Anybody could even think of grade 12.
Exactly.
No qualification, no special skills, nothing. But I know one thing: when to talk, where to talk. That's it.
I see more than that. You have a mindset. Like you have this thing where you're thinking, okay, no matter what, I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to make sure that I achieve my goals. Right? That's, I would say for you, like, is the biggest thing, because, you know, no matter what, like, you know, and you know, like a lot of people, they might think, oh, but I don't have a degree, I don't have this, I don't have that. You know, everybody has a different path in life. But what you do with that, like for example, if you're not giving up, you actually working hard towards your goal, no matter what. If you want something, like you said, I remember one time I was like telling Jas, I want to lose weight, right? And you told me, you're like, okay, you want to lose weight. You're like, if you want something truly, if you really truly want something, you'll never make an excuse. Yes. For it, right? And you're like, and I don't know if you remember this was a long time ago. You were like, if you wanted to get fit, right? You were like, even if you didn't have shoes, you would go run outside barefoot to get skinny because you really wanted that, right? Yeah. He's like, if you start making excuses, then that means you don't really want that goal.
There's another saying about it is, if you wanted the success as badly you wanted to breathe, only then you will become successful.
Of course.
It is, you have to make it. There's no other choice.
Yeah.
You have to do it. For me, if people, young generation looking at it and saying, oh, how I did it is, Maria is sitting here. She knows me from past 5 years. She knows very well with my family also, everything, how I've started everything. A lot of my friends, I'm saying it on a camera, I didn't have any financial support or properties back in India which I sold and purchased here. Nothing. Came with literally nothing. $2,000 I came it here. $1,200 the day I landed, I sent it back to my mom. because I said, okay, she may be need that money. So we were so much that time, but that was the whole money she gave it to me. And I said, okay, I have landed. Now I know my friend is going to take me into a basement. I sent it back. With those $800, I made whatever I made it. If I look back, sometimes I also feel like, yes, I was always wanted to, my aim was to be successful. But I don't know, but I was just putting my head down one thing at a time. I was not being rushing it. Okay, I wanted to be successful overnight. There's no overnight success.
And for those of people who are watching this as well, like I want to know, like, you know, if you could go back, like what advice would you give your younger self, right? It could be one, it could be
patient.
two. Huh?
Be more patient. Don't be blunt.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say things where you're not supposed to say things. It has hurt me,
of course,
a lot. And if I look back, I would do these two things: being more patient, not being blunt. And
what about for
talking.
success?
For success, just put your head down and keep working. Don't think about your end result.
Is there anything you would say that you have, you know, if you hadn't done it this way, whatever it is, like you would have fast tracked your success?
No, I don't think so. If I was not in a real estate, I would have been in a restaurant industry. I would have still been this much successful.
Yes.
I know it, because I would have not stopped. I would have never stopped. I don't want it to stop till date also. For some people, that's why it's very subjective what the success is for. For someone, and I had this discussion with my family also, with my wife. I said, what is success for someone? A person coming to Canada, for someone that is a success. A person who's getting a permanent residency is a success. For someone, getting a Canadian passport is a success. For someone, where I am is a success. But it is not for me. For me, it is not a success. I feel like I tell myself, not trying to be coming across as an arrogant person or just not having a gratitude where I am. I feel like I have not even reached 10% of my success where I wanted to be, where I have aimed for. Like, okay, one day I will be there where people will know me, who I am, not only in Surrey, like every year. This is what my dream is. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether I will be able to achieve it, but that drives me. Okay, I'm going to keep doing it.
You will achieve it one day.
I will. I keep telling it myself. I will do it, and I will be there one day. It is for me. It's like yesterday. Also, I was talking to another friend of our client came in. You know, me and him were discussing. I said, bro, he was talking about when are you going for vacation? I said, this is for me is vacation. From outside, and for people also, maybe from outside, you think like this guy is every day on a camera coming in front of us on reels. We are done with him. He doesn't have a family. He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't go out. From you, probably you thinking like, okay, if you go out, Maria, on a vacation, why you go out? To enjoy?
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Oh, I know you enjoy it. Because
I enjoy coming to work.
Literally like 6 a.m., you wake up to a text. These are the things for work we got to discuss. Like, and then I remember like usually he like texts and then at the end of the text, good morning.
Because I forget to text because good morning. I have to be respectful and Canadian.
Because the whole team, everybody gets mad at him because he doesn't say good morning. Like today, Claudia was throwing it at you. Like, oh, you ask Claudia, hey, Claudia, how's life? How are you doing? And then she says one sentence. She's like, okay, great. Can we get back to work now?
Yeah.
Can we discuss business now?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's how I've been like. It's been
so you don't think there's anything like, and anything that you wish, again, like patience and all of that being blunt and stuff. Is there anything you wish you could go back and change?
No, Maria, to be very honest, again, will say that very humbly, I have no regrets in my life. If I look at back what I have done it so far, it has been dream come true for me, more than dream come true. Best life I could think of myself. Not only money wise I'm talking about, I feel like I have the best lady in my life, Aarti, she's my wife. It's a love marriage. Initially,
you don't need to tell people it's a love marriage.
No, why I'm telling you is the reason I'm going to come back. It's a love marriage. I know her before I got married. When I was getting married also, I was feeling like, okay, she's not as ambitious as me. So I knew. And I thought maybe this is not going to go. But I was so much emotionally having attachment. I went with the flow. Initial years were struggling. We were not on the same page. But slowly, I started adapting. She started adapting. Now I look back, nobody could have been better than her. For me, is the pillar of my success. If I take one person, would be my wife, because the amount of work I do, I can only do it because she doesn't make a fuss of it. she doesn't tell me or she doesn't pick up fights with me that you have to be home at 5 o'clock. You have to be there. You cannot go to the restaurant and pick up your phones. You have to pre-plan your vacations. She doesn't do it at all.
Yeah. No,
And
RT is amazing.
that is being instrumental for me, because if you have a stress at your home, you have a fights with your spouse, you cannot focus on your business.
100%.
You
Yeah.
cannot. So the success credit goes to her. Then comes to his amazing kids. I have it.
Of course.
They are so far getting raised very well. In my opinion, every parent is biased. I feel like my kids are awesome. The way they are growing up and the way they talk to me, sometimes I get surprised too.
And how smart they are.
They are very smart.
Yeah.
My daughter gives me great tips about my business too, and overall my life also. How should I do things? Which I feel like, okay, they are growing fast, and I feel like I'm blessed. Like if I look at it, what else I wanted it? Nothing. I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah.
No, everything is I have it.
Yeah. No, honestly. And like, it's amazing that, you started with being like, I don't want to be in Canada, now to the point where you're like, I don't want to leave Canada.
Never.
This is your life now. This is your home now.
That's a 360 what you call 360 degree turnaround.
a full
circle.
Full 180.
Full 180. Okay,
Yeah.
not 360, sorry,
Yeah.
180.
Full 180 because 360 you're back to the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, to
Right?
the point.
Yeah. So like a
180.
full 180 because now you're, you went from I hate Canada, want to go back to being like, I love Canada. This is my home.
Yeah.
This is where my life is. This is where I'm going to retire. This is where I'm going
This
to
is
raise
the best
my kids.
country. It
Yeah.
made me. If I have been to any other country, I don't think so I would have got same amount of success, because Canada is a country gives you the equal amount of opportunity to succeed. Starting a guy from a very humble background of being a server or even a dishwasher or doing a labor jobs to come where I am on my own, this country can only gives you.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's any other country could have done what I have been achieved here.
Yeah,
So that's why I
100%.
love Canada.
And then I know we didn't touch. I want to touch. We are going to wrap up this podcast
Yes.
very shortly, but I do want to touch base on a little bit of your failures as well, because everything has gone quite well in your life. You moved from being
Yeah.
a restaurant, then you became successful in real estate. Everything to me, it sounds like you've been
I'll tell
successful.
you the failures. Like people don't know it. I don't know
Yeah.
whether you know it or not.
No.
Also, even in my
Yeah.
restaurant journey, also, and when I mentioned also briefly that I wanted to switch it to something else, I started with life insurance agent.
Okay.
I did that for 2 months, and I quit because I realized it. One thing I know, I have learned it in my life, or this is how my nature is. If I see something is not going according to the plan, or I'm not I can already vision this is not going to take me to the right track, I'll stop there rather than waiting and dragging that for another year or 2 years just with the hope of this will work. No, if it is not going to work, you realize it, stop there, change it. My vision was to be successful. Insurance agent, when I become, I realized very soon this is not for me. It is not my cup of tea. I'm going to switch it to real estate. My wife said to me, people are going to make a joke out of you. First of all, you are in a restaurant industry, then you become a insurance agent. In literally 2 months, you're saying, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to do real estate. Now you're going to go for a real estate course. What are you doing? I said, this is not for me. What I'm trying to say, like, it's okay to admit that you failed in that part and you move on. That was a failure for me. I opened up a catering business when I was running a restaurant. That was a failure for me. I didn't succeed. I didn't able to even barely cover up my capital investment for the catering I did it. That was a failure for me. In restaurant, I tried, in this business, real estate business, tried so many things. There's so many things I've tried it as a team also, as a team leader. It didn't work. Last year, if I look at it, I hired about 10 to 12 realtors thinking of growing my team. It didn't work for me. It is not for me. I'm always been a person who has very tight small team. And I feel like this is how I'm going to run it. But that's what I'm saying. I failed in it, but I didn't give up. I changed it. Okay, we'll go back to what was working for me. Again is JLJ, just like Jas. I spent so much time into it and money. I spent my 8 to 9 months being so busy and spending 8 to 9 months just focusing on to building that mentorship program and not listening. Again, it's not always your friends and family are going to be wrong. Some of the time they are, some of the time they are right too. You have to listen. And I didn't listen. They told me this is not the right time to start your mentorship program. Not that people not going to come. You are not ready for it because you don't have a time. I said, no, I'm going to do it. It's going to be online. Everything will be online. One time I have to shoot the videos and we're going to do it. And here I am. I pulled the plug this year in January. I launched it last year in, I think, August. Amazing response I got it. So many queries came in. More than 200 people registered it. But in the process, I realized that I don't have a time for this. I can't do this. This is not for me.
You thought it was just going to be a one-time thing and then you forget about it.
And it didn't work. And I have no shame to saying it. It didn't work for me. Not for the time, from the perspective of making money or being a successful business. I was not ready for it. And I didn't listen it because my ego was so big when you, even Claudia, Emmanuel, everybody was saying to me,
don't do it.
Don't do it. Just you don't have a time.
Yeah, it's not.
And I just wanted to prove a point. I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. So.
And you worked weekends. I remember you guys worked evenings.
Maria, more than I was ready or not, I just wanted to prove a point that I can do it.
Yes.
And that was a wake up call for me. Yes, you are a human. And it's okay if you fail in it. Just admit it. Because I dragged it.
Yeah.
And I was getting a financial loss in it. I dragging it because I was not having a time, but I was paying salaries to the staff for that company.
Yeah.
I was not producing any content for that, but I was always paying the salary so that I don't lose the staff, and one day I will have a time and I will do it. And then I realized that this is not right for me to just admit it. Yes, I fucked up. I admit it. Yes, it was, you guys were right. I was wrong. What I'm trying to say it is, people don't get disheartened or don't think like from outside everything is great. Any person out of it, not me, any person you see out, nobody has a perfect life. There will always be up and downs. But the main thing is how, when things are not going in your favor, you can still move forward, put your head up and keep going. And that's what I keep doing it now. Even with Maria being my business partner this year, it is a new experience for me. Obviously, for Maria also it's a new experience because she's the first time going to be running her own business. For me, being a partner with someone in real estate is a new thing for me. And we did last
we've chopped and changed
so many things within our role, like who will do what and then we ended up very simply thing which we didn't click to our brains, like why
fix something that's not broken?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be thinking, okay, let's do this, and I was sometimes thinking like, this girl may be going to get frustrated with me and she will say, what the heck this guy's doing it. Like, imagine Monday I'm telling Maria, this is your role now. You're going to do this. Next Monday I'm coming, Maria, scrap that. It's not working. Let's do this. And she always said, okay, Jas. One thing I have to give it, she always said, okay, Jas, let's do this way. Let's do this way.
No, because, in my mind, it made sense. At the end of the day, we both want this business to be successful, right? Yeah. So in our head, we're like, okay, we're going to do whatever it takes to make the business work, right? If that means we try this method, we try this. If we tried this, we try that. Like, whatever it is that we try, right? But then we kind of go back to, okay, there was something that was working, and there's like that famous saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Yeah, yes. Don't fix it, right? And now we've gone back to that, and it works amazingly because now, and the thing.
It's been almost one and a half months, not too long, but still 45 days. Looking at our track record, every 10 days or 7 days, we're changing our rules. Yes. This is what you're going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And now being 45 days and we're enjoying it.
Yes.
Now, at that time, we were not enjoying it. That's why we were changing it so fastly, so rapidly. Okay, let's do this.
Like I was not enjoying like all of the marketing because, you were like, okay, more like, focused real estate. I was focusing more on marketing. Right. And in my head, I was like, oh my God, like, as much as I love our marketing staff, the minute I hear the Maria, the minute I walk into the office, I'm like, last thing I want to do is like look at these videos. Emmanuel's laughing, he couldn't stop his laughter. The minute I hear my voice, not my voice, sorry. The minute I hear
Emmanuel's voice.
Emmanuel's voice. The minute I hear people's like just saying the words Maria, I'm just like, don't talk to me. I'm obviously not that, but like it's just, I think it was just like because in my head that's all I was doing.
It takes a lot of toll on you handling the marketing thing, and
you miss something, then you're like, shit, like I missed this thing. How can I miss it? And then you're like annoyed at yourself for missing that one thing, right? And then, but then you also like, I guess, forget like, okay, these are all the things you did right. It's okay if here and there you mess up, but now I like it more because you and me are sharing it, right? That's why, because marketing, before too, but now more than ever we're doing it together.
We have not splitted our roles now. Nobody has a specific job or task to do it.
We both do it.
If she's busy, I jump in, and vice versa. Same thing with the clients. If she's handling the clients, our clients are common now. She like does it like she writes an offer, I can do a negotiation.
Yeah, like last night I went to an event.
Yeah, she went to an event. I took
You
jump
took-
on it. Yeah.
and you remove the
Rather than
subject,
having
yeah.
a role, so okay, you take care of residential, I take care of commercial, or you take care of marketing, I take care of operations. No, it's not going to work because it was too much for us.
Agree,
One,
yeah.
and we were not enjoying it.
No, both
So
were not.
yeah, so that was pretty much
Now,
what
yeah.
saying. This is like changes are there.
Yeah.
From outside you don't see it, but nobody is perfect out there. So don't lose hope. Whatever you're doing it in your life,
Yeah.
keep being persistent
Yeah.
and consistent is the thing. Don't give up on it. Success is gonna come.
Yes.
There's
It always
no-
comes. Be a little bit delusional. Even on the times you're feeling low, just tell
Yeah.
yourself it will work out.
talk to yourself, talk to your close friends.
Yes.
And it works out.
100%.
It always works out.
Yeah.
So Maria,
And that's it. All I want to say is if you are watching and you have an inspiring story, we would love to hear
Yes.
from you. Please do DM us. We love to have people like you saw Varun last time.
Yep.
And he had an amazing story. So we would love it if
any
you have
inspiring story which you would like to share your story, or you know any friend of yours who is successful and he's not putting out the word there, because these things motivate other people.
Yes.
Like Varun, I did the podcast.
Yeah.
I was inspired by him.
Of course.
He's such a young dude and doing such amazing job. Like he's having those multiple units in there. Amazing. Hats off to him.
Of course. And more than that too, like our other viewers also enjoy listening to
Yep.
these stories because, you know, for them it's like, you know, I guess getting hope and stuff. Like, you know, if this person could do it, if this young person could do it, like Varun's so young. If he could do it, why can't I do
Yep.
it? Right? So if you are somebody like that, or if you have a friend like Jas said, you know, that has an inspiring story, please do reach out to us. Do follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, anywhere you can think of, we're there.
Yes.
And as always, we will see you hopefully very soon with a new podcast.
Check care, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.